Good afternoon and welcome back to Morrigan's Cottage. Today is Wednesday, the 22nd, I think, and we've got down to the cottage a little bit ago, kind of mid-morning, and since then I have been doing the video that comes out today, the Wednesday video, because I did not do it last night. I was going to, and then I was too lazy and tired, so I did it this morning. Morrigan was desperate to get outside, as was Bunny. But yeah, we've been down a little while now. It's a bit of a miserable day again. I'll show you here now. It's very lightly raining. It's that kind of rain that's just sort of in the wind, and it's not actually like raining on you, but it's wet. Classic Irish weather after we had, what, 2 absolutely scorcher days. We're now a week of rain, which is a bit disappointing because I have lots I need to get done. But it's Wednesday, so we're halfway through our week here at the cottage. Kind of having a bit of a lazy day today. We had a little half lazy day yesterday where the first half of the day we did nothing, and then the second half of the day we did Trojan work, and today it seems to be kind of starting the same. But yeah, the weather's kind of letting us down. So what I'm going to start today is get the last of the grass kind of raked up that we cut the other day, because ideally I'd like to get mowing the lawn again tomorrow or the next day just to try help keep it down. And then what I also need to do is plant some of my plants out. Now I've been saying that for weeks and never get to it, but we are doing that today. So what I'm going to do is all along this fence here, hopefully I'm going to use the shovel to cut up the ground basically, and we're going to get our sunflowers planted in there because I'd like to have sunflowers all along the fence. Now the sun comes and faces towards the house, so the sunflowers unfortunately will grow to face outwards, but I think it'll still look really nice. So that's the first thing we want to get done after we rake the old grass. And then there are lots of plants in there that we need to start getting planted outside, but it's just not the best day. So I'm not sure how much we're going to get done, to be honest with you, but we're going to make a start on it. Worst comes to worst, if it starts raining again, we will go back inside. I'll start chipping away at the walls again. We do also need to go into the local village because I need to get more chicken from Morrigan and just a couple bits for snacking, because I've eaten all my snacks. And then final update, and I don't think I've really mentioned it because I've only just I've mentioned it a little bit, but I'm only just getting info on it, I suppose. The beehive in the stables. So I contacted like the bee people in Ireland and sent them a video, and they have confirmed we have honeybees in the stable, which isn't ideal. I've tried to do a little bit of research online about honeybees, and like I feel like the internet's full of conflicting things, but basically some websites are saying that like if the bees get comfy, they'll stay in that hive and they'll kind of sleep off through winter and nibble on the honey that they have and then be back active the following spring. Others are saying that the bees will leave and they probably won't come back to the hive. But the problem there is that maybe wasps or a different bee colony can move in. So it's all kind of conflicting information. So if anyone happens to be a bee expert, specifically honeybees, and ideally in Ireland and the UK, because I don't know if honeybees are different around the world, but if you happen to know anything about them, please educate me, because the internet is full of conflicting information. The place that I was talking to by email, their website advised that they can keep living in the same colony, and there's a risk that if someone decide to like move out of the colony, they might swarm and start a new colony, and potentially they could move into the house, they can move into other parts of the stable. It's just not ideal. And I don't know anything about bees. I've never actually been stung by a bee, so I presume I'm not allergic, but I also don't know. So it's just, I don't know. I don't love the idea. In the future, I would love to keep bees. I'd love to have like a hive and everything like that, like under my expert control once I've done courses, but I don't know anything about bees right now. I don't really want them living in the cavity of my stables that I use as storage for my shovels and stuff like that. At the moment now I'm keeping them in the house because they really don't like me going over there. You also have to walk past them to get into the rest of the land, and when you walk by, they're not particularly happy that you're there, which is a bit rude because they are living rent-free in my outhouses. So you think they'd be a bit nicer, but they're not. They're not super happy to have me around. Now, having a look over there, I don't see them at the moment, but it is... Oh, there they are. Okay. No, I thought maybe they'd secretly moved out overnight, but they haven't. It's just raining. Anyway, rant over about the bees. Hopefully we can look into getting that sorted, but like €300 to €500. I just feel like financially there's no catching up when you have a house, because like all these bits come up, and here's me thinking, oh, I'm going to save a couple €100 this month. No, we got to get rid of bees safely, obviously safely alive and everything like that, but like, Christ, there's no catching up. But that's okay. Sure, look, we knew when we bought a house it was going to be a money drain, and it is, so there you go. But yeah, so I'm going to put you down and I'm going to start getting rid of this grass, and then we'll move on to the next project. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me because it's very, very windy. I was hoping to get some microphones to make the sound quality better, but if we're going to be paying to have these bees rehomed, I think the microphone might have to wait. Here is our first blackberry, and as you can see, this was the original stick, and then this is the new shoot that's after coming up. So we'll just get rid of some of these weeds around it. I did trim all around it yesterday, or the day before, so this is just grow back. But once we get these grass clippings down, which has been highly requested in the comments, and I think it really will, it's going to help a lot. There should hopefully be no more weeds coming up, and it should also help me identify where these guys are, because when I was mowing I was like, I can't find them. But here's the first one. Second one is over here, and again this one's doing really good, but it is surrounded by weeds at the moment. Hang on, let me just pull all of that back. Now we have to be very careful, we don't want to pull anything that's actually the plant. Rid of all this weed. Bloody rope in the ground. I thought I'd removed it all, but apparently not. Anyway, this blackberry actually hasn't got any new shoots at the bottom, but it has shot up at the top. So hopefully that's okay. It's my first time planting anything like this before, so fingers crossed. That's the second one. And then the third one is doing beautifully. Weeds and grass. A lot of this is actually just trimmed and needs to be moved back. It's not actually growing anymore. Big dirty rock there. So yeah, so here is the third one, and this one is growing like this has just grown straight out of the original stick we put in, and then there's a whole new stick. So this has really taken off. It looks great. Moving over to the blueberries. So here is our blueberries. Now, a lot of people said that these should be planted in pots and that they need a special kind of soil, or they will probably die. Now, I actually haven't done either of those things. I haven't given it the special soil, and I haven't obviously planted in a pot, but it seems to be doing okay. We'll just keep an eye on it, and if needed, this needs to all be cut back over here. Gotta be careful. Blueberry 1 is looking good. Little flowers had grown on it, so that's exciting. It's not dead. Blueberry 2 is over here. So blueberry 2, no flowers on it, but it's alive. And that's really all we can ask for. And here is blueberry number 3. And again, bloody weeds everywhere, but the soil is just so good here. Like, it's no surprise there's bloody weeds everywhere. Onto the poor raspberries, which I think might be dead. So here is raspberry number 1. Absolutely no growth on it. Just a bare stick. I don't know if that means maybe we're not going to get anything from this one, which if we don't, it's fine. We can get more. This one, and again, now this is all cut back. It's just I didn't clear it afterwards. Oops, just give it a good smack. But again, nothing going on with this one at all, which is a bit disappointing. Number 3. So this is number 3, and this one actually does seem to be doing something, which is a relief. I pull all this back. See, you can't really trim too close to them, obviously, because you don't want to hit them by mistake. So I need to do some maintenance around here, but get rid of these weeds. Most of this is actually cut back. It's just, again, it hasn't been cleaned up. But this raspberry seems to be doing good. So it has grown itself. Oh my god, look, there's a little something's hanging off of it. But this has shot up a new sprout, and it's growing off the original stick. So this one is working, thank god. And over here, these are our horse chestnut trees, which will need to be moved and planted properly. I just have to decide where. Some of them are thriving. Oh, big spider. Like, this has lots of new growth. Just even in the last 2 or 3 days, lots coming up for it. Now I think that's a weed, so that can come out. Plushy weeds everywhere. How do people deal with them? Okay, will we go get some grass and put it around the different plants? Alrighty, first one is done. Now I put a tiny bit more around it. Number 2 is done, but we got them all done, so happy days. It's getting a bit wild out, but it's not raining yet, so we're going to keep going. Spotted a cute little ladybug. This tree is just becoming like my favourite thing. It's just so beautiful, and I don't feel like the camera picks up just how lovely the colours are. Hopefully you're able to see just how much work we're getting done. All I'm really learning is that actually by not being here all the time, it's making it a lot harder to get things done, but when we're here, things are getting done so well. eyeing me. What you up to? You watching what we're doing? Yeah. Hi. Hello. So we're just getting our mulch onto the potatoes now because I've let them get too high. It's all very experimental this year with the potatoes. We'll see. So get another load of grass clippings and throw that on and see how we get on. But yeah, don't know, very experimental. This is how someone I know grows them, where they come up and she throws more grass on them, and then they come up and she throws more grass on them. So we'll see. But I think I've let them get too high because look, it's just been too busy. But anyway, sure, look, some of the smaller ones I'm getting to a lot quicker. So hopefully I will be able to get a couple potatoes, but we'll see. I'm not too worried. What's this little minx up to? Hiya, sweetie. What you up to? Yeah? Do you want to come over with us? No? No? Are you happy over here? Do you want to come? Yeah? Yeah? Morrigan's like, what's going on? Are you coming? Come on. Come on over with us then. I don't think I've said before, but let me show you. Hang on. So this is the back door, obviously, you come out of, and then there's this little area here, and it looks like they kind of had like a homemade barbecue, maybe, where they used to light a fire in here and then just barbecue food here. What I would like to do is remove all this and knock down this wall here and put like a little, obviously get rid of the old washing line poles, but put a little like trellis here, and then you can like enter the garden from over here. That's ideally what I'd like to do. And then, because I don't think I've told you my plans really for the garden for the next few years. So obviously this fenced area is going to be like the main kind of garden area for Morrigan to play, and I plan on eventually over by the pond we'll cut all the brambles back and have like maybe an access to the pond that's fenced, so obviously Morrigan and any new babies that we get can't go through, and then obviously we'll keep that tree line. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do is pave the gate with just stone up to maybe where about the tree clippings are right now. So pave to there and have it so that there's access for the septic tank that's over behind the tree can get emptied every year or every 5 years or whatever it is. So that's kind of the idea. Pave right along to there and then fence off where the driveway is. So the driveway will be just over there, and then have this as garden space and like have like maybe some cherry blossoms along here. And then along the fence for now, this year we're going to plant sunflowers and things like that. But hopefully next year what I'm going to be doing is extending the fence back. So where the old horse arena was, turn that into more garden, because eventually, I mean, we're talking years and years down the line, I'd like to do a big extension at the back. So get rid of this wall here and then extend probably to about half the garden. And basically what we would have is like a much bigger kitchen, a bigger office, maybe an extra bedroom, and then extend out the living room. Because at the moment, I mean, the house is perfect for me right now. It's technically going to be technically it's 3 bedrooms, but I'm going to have it as 2 bedrooms, an office, kitchen, living room and bathroom. But then eventually way down the line, the plan and dream is to extend out the back to maybe about here, and have like a big kitchen that kind of has like a big window that looks out over the back. The main thing is the front of the cottage, the old part of the cottage, that's not going to change. Like I want that to look as it is. I don't want to have, like, when you look at it from the street, I want it to look like an old little cottage and then be super surprised when you come in and it's actually really big. So anyway, extend out the kitchen, maybe extend the study out to the side. But anyway, you'd have a big kitchen kind of area where you have a big kitchen and an eating area all in one space, and then extend the living room out as well and have like big windows and big doors that lead out into the back garden, which would be like, the back garden will have probably from here to like where the, just past the first fence, and that's kind of the plan. And then when you extend out the living room, then we have more room inside where we can maybe add an additional bedroom, another bathroom. I'd like to, in front of the house, so there's the utility room there, the other side of the utility room is the front shed kind of space, and I'd like to put a new roof on that, knock into it, and have an ensuite bathroom off of the main front bedroom. That's kind of the thoughts. And then have obviously the spare room, bigger office, so then it would be like maybe a 3 or 4 bedroom, because where the living room is, potentially we could work that into like 2 bedrooms, and then the new living room would be where I'm standing here. So anyway, just to make it bigger, I've no plans really of having children, but I am 33, nearly 34, so that may change. And if I met someone and they wanted kids, maybe we'd have kids. So anyway, we need more space, and ideally there'll be lots more doggies and catties and animals here once we're settled. I actually don't think, now that I stopped to explain what I'd like to do to the house in like 10 years time, I actually don't think I've stopped to tell you about what the kind of plan for everything is, because obviously we're doing renovations, we're kind of getting a little garden set up, but like the long-term goals of what we're going to do here, and to run briefly through it, because it may change. I mean, look, we haven't even had the keys 6 months, we're at the very beginning of all this, but once the cottage is sorted as it is right now, great. And then in 5 to 10 years, maybe if I ever have money again, we'll apply for a loan and get like the big extension out the back. That's kind of the plan for the cottage, but to leave it like as close to, like, have kind of the back section maybe a little bit more modern, but the front traditional old cottage. But with the land, I haven't really said what my plan to do with the land is, and that is because it's future projects, but kind of getting the groundwork now. So over beside the house where we were just doing our work, that's going to be the cottage garden. That is going to be our veggie garden where we plant our vegetables. I mean, I'm not growing for the masses, I'm just growing for me. So this space here should always be more than enough space for the veggie patch. I mean, we'll see, we may need to extend it out, but as of right now, for what I can tell, that's going to be more than enough space. The side of the house, that's going to be the driveway, kind of like I was just saying. When the extension comes, obviously it'll extend out here, but the plan is that this fence, where it currently ends now, kind of it juts out around the pond, that will be the garden area. And then my plan is obviously to have the little gateway into the sorry, hopefully you can hear me, it's a bit windy. Oh, Bonnie, get down. Bonnie! She's up on the wall with a naughty kitty catty. She's not the most athletic cat in the world. Come on! You just want your moment? You can have your moment, but I need you. Did you scrape yourself? Oh, honey bunny, you gotta be careful when you're cleaning your little earsies. Okay, we were cutely interrupted by Bonnie being a little daredevil. So we're gonna knock here, have a pathway out into the garden patch. So then the plan is, over here, we're gonna wall off the veggie garden from there across to keep that separate from the stables. So this will all be walled off. I mean, I'll have like a little gate so you can get in easily, but that's there. And then the plan is, so obviously there's this shed here that needs to kind of be rebuilt because it's not in good condition. So that's going to be done. we're going to fix up the stables, and then basically, I don't want to get too close because of the bees, I don't want to agitate them. But so this fence obviously will spread further back to mark off the garden, and then we're going to have a walkway so any animals that need the stables can get into the stables, and then it'll go down to the fields. And the plan for the fields is we're going to split them right down the middle, and then we'll have like fenced fields on either side and orchards and all that kind of good stuff. Now, where everything is going, I don't know yet. That's a future thing. The layout and the plan for the land, but what we're going to do with it is, and this is like the dream, so hopefully is what will get done, but I would like to become kind of like an unofficial, not an animal rescue, but like a foster place for animals. Ideally, we would foster maybe older dogs until they can get their forever homes, because a lot of older dogs, or just some dogs in general, even if they're younger, they don't do well in the kennels when they're in like adoption places. So if we could give a nice home to a dog, a couple dogs at a time, until they find ideally senior dogs, because they just don't deserve, no dog deserves to be in a shelter, but when you're old you deserve to retire. So maybe we will become like a nice little retirement place for some older doggies, because like we've nothing but space, they can come out and lounge and whatever. So that is something I'd like to do, although I fear I will foster fail lots. And then also the plan is, obviously we'd like to get chickens, so we're going to have to find a place to put the chickens, because they need to be close enough to the house but also sheltered and protected, because there are little foxes. And ideally there's this hen kind of rescue that I follow on Facebook, and I'll have to get the name, I'll put it kind of below, but rather than buying hens or chicks or anything like that, I would like to get hens rescued from this place, because every now and again they post up that they've got like hundreds if not thousands of hens that they're rescuing from like battery hen places for eggs. So whether we ever actually get any eggs from these hens, I don't know, but if we can give them a nice kind of place to live after they've had a hard life, then that's ideal. So that's part of the plan. We're gonna have like rescue hens, and then ideally, I mean, every now and again it comes up that like the ISPCA or the DSPCA is the Dublin one, are looking for people to like take and rescue like kuni pigs and goats and all that sort of stuff. So obviously if we can provide a good safe home for that, we'll do that. And ideally the biggest plan, the one thing that I really hope to make sure happens, is to get some rescue donkeys onto the land. Love the donkey sanctuary. I think they're in the UK, they're in Ireland, I think they're in like multiple places, but I don't know, to be honest. But you can basically like adopt donkeys through them. Now you have to do a course and, you know, learn the ropes, and I think that's really, really good. And you also have to have like, you know, your donkey numbers and all this kind of stuff. Oh god, I have a bite on my face. I think that's been there all day, but I've just noticed it. But you can adopt donkeys through them, and like I said, you can do a course with them, or you have to do the course, which is good because obviously I don't know what I'm doing, but I absolutely love donkeys. My family love donkeys, the neighbours love donkeys. Donkeys are just so underrated. Like horses are lovely, but like there's just something about a donkey, I just think they're the nicest creatures, even though they can be a bit mean, I think. I just think there's something very like soul settling about donkeys. So we're gonna have donkeys, fingers crossed, because we've lots of space, and if in the future we need more space, we'll get more space. But that's the plan. But it isn't a this year plan, unfortunately. We're not living here full time, but that is the plan, that's the vision, that's the dream around Morrigan's cottage, is to live a slower life, ideally off grid, because like solar panels in the future and all that stuff. But we're just at the very beginning, and unfortunately getting all of this up off the ground is very expensive, and I'm on my own and I don't make that much money, and I spent all my money buying the house. So yeah, so just bear with the process. Hopefully you'll look back on this, if YouTube is still around in 10 years, we'll look back at this together and be like, ah yes, remember when we'd no heating and we had no money and it was €300 to get rid of the bees, and everything was really hard, and instead we'll just come out of our lovely cottage and we'll see all our donkeys and our hens and our goats and our pigs and everything like that. So that's the vision, that's the dream, fingers crossed. But we need to get back to work before it starts raining, and I need to get Bonnie because she's up on the thing again.
For anyone who's a big fan of Miss Morrigan, which is everyone, her eye has fixed itself, her little cherry eye. So it's been noticed in a couple of videos. This eye here has a cherry eye where basically the third eyelid pops out and it stays out. She's had it for years. It's not affecting her. In the future it might, but for the last few years it hasn't. Her eyes are good. But every now and again it pops itself back in. And it popped itself back in last night, and normally it pops itself back out quite quickly, but it hasn't come out yet. Now, I'm not holding on to hope that it's gone forever, but it's nice that her little eye is getting a break from having the third eyelid out. You eating grass? Yeah, cheeky monkey. But yes, it's nice to see. This is what my beautiful baby looks like. She's gorgeous. But yeah, so that's good. So we're gonna get back to work. There's only a little bit of grass left to pick up. The clouds are coming in a bit dirty, so we're going to get to it quick, finish covering the potatoes, and then it's just 2 o'clock. So we'll go in, have something to eat, and then maybe go into town to pick up a few bits. You coming? You walking? Did you get the ball, honey? You gonna bring it back? Bonnie's over there camouflaged. Good job! Come on, bring it over. Can you drop it? Come here. Hey, can you drop the ball? No, I can't throw for you if you don't drop it. Okay. So I'm over here. It's about 6 o'clock now. We're just back from the shopper, and you would have seen some clips of the local park we went for a walk through. But I'm just edging along the fence. I'll probably just do over to here if I get that far. It's actually quite hard to do. But yeah, that's what I'm up to. And then today, but more likely tomorrow, we will get the sunflowers planted out. And I have lots of sunflower seeds, so I'll get all those planted. But I have a few that I kind of already started, so we'll get those planted out. You ready? Go! It's so nice that she's able to run around the garden now. I'd like to get the grass cut again, but the rain obviously prevents us. But yeah, I'm just edging along here. I'll go to the end and then we'll probably call it quits. So it looks a bit crappy for now, but there is a plan. So we actually came in, it's just about 6. Started to get a bit wild out there, so
we're in probably for the night now. Gonna cook some dinner and get the baby something to eat. So yeah, join us for that. Oh, I better close the fridge before it yells at me again. Okay, so dinner. We are having some meat-free black pudding, or blood pudding, some people call it. That is one of the things I miss most about not eating meat is the fry-up. So I found some of this meat-free pudding at the shop, so we're going to try it. We've got some meat-free sausages, and then obviously we will have some eggs, and we'll put that into a sandwich. So I can't wait, it's going to be delish. This is what's for dinnies. So, starting to get a bit stormy outside. I don't think we are in thunderstorm watch, but it's definitely getting a bit stormy, so we are packed up for the day anyway, so we're gonna have something to eat and then call it quits for the day. Isn't that right? You licking your lips? I'm gonna get you something to eat now. So we're doing a trust test. Bunny's not on the lead. She's already being a bit naughty. Bunny, can you stay over here, please? Oh, good girl. That was a good girl coming back to Mama. Okay, so trust test going well. Bunny? Bunny?